This is Special Report. A deeply divided Democratic convention has just passed a stunning reversal, rewriting hotly disputed platform language that omitted references to God and to Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. But it was far from unanimous. The Democrats needed a two-thirds voice vote to pass the amendment, putting 2008 language about God and Jerusalem back into the Democratic platform.
Good evening and welcome to the rest of the news. We have a special program today with Rick Howland. Rick, what's going on?
How you doing, Doc?
Good.
Good to see you.
Were you going to tell us about your two radio programs?
Yeah, well, they're not. One is mine, and the other is Pastor is borrowed, so to speak.
Okay.
The first one I'll tell you about Pastor Jerry L. Stevenson's program, the Values Coalition USA, which is heard Monday through Friday from 10:30 to 11:30 every weekday morning, 5 days a week on WLLV AM 1240 here in Louisville.
Yeah.
And that's 10:30 to 11:30 every morning. Great show. Hope you can listen. I'm a co-host on there. Pastor Stevenson's there on Monday and Friday. I do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as a rule.
Great.
And then my show Sunday night on AM 970. They've changed their name. They don't call themselves WGTK anymore. Okay. Now it's 970 AM The Answer.
TheAnswer.com
is their website.
I like that.
But 970, they're found at the same place on the AM dial, 970. And I'm the Black Heart Conservative, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And we do a lot of talking about politics from a biblical perspective on both the programs, although I'll argue it from a secular point of view as well. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the Bible's right. Don't matter how you slice
right.
it. If you want to go secular and try to come up with a different point of view, right is right. And God's word is right. God's position is prescribed based on the principles of this earth, this creation that He created. It will be right.
I think we need more answers.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, now we've got what I would consider one of the most important video clips of the century.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I believe it was pretty important. In 2012,
yeah,
literally the Democratic Party voted God out of the platform.
Can you believe that?
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was watching.
Yeah.
And evidently they had their platform meetings in the previous couple of days. And somehow or another they passed the platform without reference to two things they've always been since 1948. Well, they've always mentioned God somewhere in the platform.
Yeah.
But then since 1948, since Israel was established, they've always had something to say about Israel. I think since maybe 1967, they've always made reference to Jerusalem being allowed to be the capital of Israel. And all of a sudden, this year, they decided to leave both of those things out. Well, when people in charge of the president's advisors saw that, they said, we made a mistake here. We need to have something about God in here, and we need to, we don't leave out, this is foreign policy. We can't ignore blindside the Jews. And so they had to have a vote to amend the platform and then re-accept it again as being the platform.
Yeah.
They had to open it up and redo the vote.
Well, let's show that right now.
This is a non-debatable motion requiring a two-thirds vote. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye. All those opposed, say no. In the opinion of the chair, there's been a two-thirds affirmative vote to suspend the rules. Governor, would you like to make your motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This summer, I was proud to serve this party as the Platform Drafting Committee Chair. As the chair, I come before you today to discuss two important matters related to our party's national platform. As an ordained United Methodist minister, I am here to attest and affirm that our faith and belief in God is central to the American story and informs the values we've expressed in our party's platform. In addition, President Obama recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and our party's platform should as well. Mr. Chairman, I have submitted my amendment in writing, and I believe it is being projected on the screen for the delegates to see. I move adoption of the amendment as submitted and shown to the delegates.
A motion has been made. Is there a second? Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, the matter requires a 2/3 vote in the affirmative. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the, let me do that again. All of those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. I guess.
You've got a rule, and then you've got to let them do what they're going to do.
I'll do that one more time. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 have voted in the affirmative. The motion is adopted, and the platform has been amended as shown on the screen.
Now, you know, like I say,
That was something, wasn't it?
I cannot believe that. Now, I bet the average person watching this program doesn't know that the Democrat Party in the United States kicked God.
Well, if you go and look at the minutes of the convention, it will say God was voted in by a 2/3 vote. But I remember what blew me away that night watching it on TV is on the video that we just saw.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a little bit louder against God.
Yeah.
But they're just a little bit louder against God. But when the actual vote at the time, I remember it was decidedly louder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was
Against God.
Against God, and they were upset because the leadership had already evidently purposed that we were going to receive the vote as accepting the amendment, putting God back in the platform.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
putting reference to Jerusalem being part of Israel,
Yeah.
of Israel,
Yeah.
back in the platform. And there were people that were protesting
Yeah.
and upset and booing.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
When Mayor
I
Villaraigosa called the vote 2/3
Yeah.
to accept the amendment, they were going boo and real upset because they
Yeah.
knew, and if you heard the vote that night live,
Yeah.
you could hear the difference.
Yeah.
Now,
I remember.
Video
yeah.
is not as good. The video is not as good.
Well, what do you think the significance of that is?
Well, I've known for a long time. Part of the reason why what drew me out of the Democrat Party was when I became a Christian, I found myself less and less able to support Democratic Party positions. You know, God had convinced me that He was God and that His word was His word, and whether I wanted to agree with Him or not, He's God. And you know, if somebody had to do the changing, it would probably be me and not Him. And so
Exactly.
over time, I would sit and read scripture, and I'd look at it and I'd figure it out, and I'd say, ain't no point in fighting it. You know, why kick against the prick?
Well,
And
I think
I would
one of
accept
the
his position.
the main issues is the life issue.
Yeah.
And the Democrat Party is taking the pro-choice position. And then the other thing is the definition of marriage.
Definition of marriage. It seems that the Democrat Party over the last 35 or 40 years, whenever it comes down to issues that are really religious in nature, they, number one, try to make it a secular issue, politically secular issue, and then they always come down on the side that is unbiblical.
Right, right.
You know, So how can all of a sudden, I used to be really in love with the idea of social justice, but social justice included abortion.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I mean that's part of social justice. That's part of a woman's right to choose. Women becoming liberated was their ability to control their own bodies. That was that was how
And the
social
baby's body too.
Yeah, so the baby doesn't have any rights.
Yeah,
The baby isn't a person.
yeah.
Under this rubric that we're operating under now
Yeah.
under Roe v. Wade.
Well, it seems to me that another issue that's kind of gets tied up in this whole situation is the prosperity issue.
Yeah.
That, I mean, the idea is, are we going to punish people for trying to succeed in life?
Right. Yeah. Well, we heard some more of that last night on the State of the Union.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Oh man, just promising everything. Everybody's going to get free 2 years of college at a junior college. All of that's going to be free now, and I can't remember the whole list because it was just a litany of more free stuff.
Well,
And then when it came to just for a moment, talked about paying for it, we're going to have a tax increase of $300-some billion over some number of years, and all of this is just pulled out. All these figures and references are just pulled out of the air, and it's just some more offering free stuff to people to get more and more people dependent on the government, so that they can control more and more votes and control more and more people's lives.
yeah. Well, I think that's right. It seems to me that one of the big reasons why we have high unemployment in America today is because the government has taxed the businesses so much that they're going out of business. Like
Exactly.
Pillsbury, for
Exactly.
example. It just went
Among
belly
others.
up because I think a big part of it is they could not put up with all of the regulations,
regulations.
and taxes and all that.
Yeah, and then you factor in the Affordable Care Act,
Oh, that's a killer.
and with all the increases that are tacked onto that for employers, and that increases the cost of employing a person.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I have to admit my ignorance before I got to thinking about these things after I became a Christian. I remember one time I was involved in union negotiations when I was a bus driver in Chicago. And I was saying, look, y'all don't have to get my hospitalization for me. I can get it myself. Just give me the money. And that was the beginning of me waking up as a conservative. I began to realize, just give me raise my hourly rate.
Yeah.
Give me all of that money, rather than giving it to everybody else. Because it dawned on me that there was a lot more money being paid to other people. About a third or 50% more of my salary was being paid to other people so that they could employ me. And I said, well, just let me have the money.
Now,
I'll sign a contract saying I'll get my own hospitalization.
Yeah.
I'll save my own pension money. I'll do this.
it seems to me that another important issue that's covered with this kick God out
Yeah.
is the idea of amnesty.
Yeah.
In other words, here we got more workers than we have jobs now.
Yeah.
So now they're going to bring in more workers, even
Yeah.
more workers, and so it seems to me the wages are going to go down more.
Yeah, exactly. And but we don't teach economics anymore. And so there's this idea in the minds of a lot of Americans that if you own a company, well, all you got to do is just pay more money and just raise the price of the product. They don't understand it when you raise the price of the product too high. People stop buying.
Right.
And I'm not going to buy a Big Mac
Yeah.
if I got to pay $5 for a Big Mac.
Right. Right.
I can make a Big Mac at home.
And all these jobs are going overseas because the companies can't afford the taxes here in America.
Employees don't realize all the payroll taxes and fees
Oh, brother.
that are tacked on
Yeah.
their employer just so the employer can hire them.
I think I pay, I can't remember, it's 10 or 15 different taxes that
Yeah.
I got to pay
for
at
every
my
employee,
office.
for every single employee you have.
Well, I tell you, it's a lot of different kind of taxes, everybody, and then you pay your phone bill, there's
Yeah.
a tax for that, and
Yeah.
your property tax that goes to the schools and this and that.
And the thing is, none of those taxes go away. We're still paying phone taxes that were assessed back in the 40s and the 50s when, in order to build a phone system, the federal government, for the good of everybody, was subsidizing phone companies to build so that they could create a network and build into one another. So a lot of AT&T grew on federal money because AT&T was the biggest was a contractor that was putting together a national system, and so that money flowed to them, and so AT&T wanted to claim that the phone wires are all theirs and they could charge whatever they wanted to for this, that, and the other. You remember back in the 80s there was an antitrust suit.
Yeah.
And
they split them up.
And the federal government had to tell them, look, the money you use to build our phone system, was done with money that we assessed from taxpayers.
Yeah.
And you got the money to build it. It was built with taxpayer money. You don't get to come in now and charge everybody like you built it all alone.
Right.
Okay, you didn't build it all alone. This is one of those instances where Barack was talking about the phone system. If he wanted to say we didn't build AT&T, you didn't build that.
No.
Now he could have got that. Would have been true.
That's what it's true.
But because it was done governmentally in order to, because no one person and no private employer, no one jurisdiction had the resources to build a nationwide telephone system like we had.
Right.
That was part of infrastructure, and everybody that had a brain said, "Man, this is a good idea. We need to build a phone system."
Right. Now, the other thing is when the Democrat Party kicked God out of their platform, political platform, it reminded me of how the people, the left-wingers or whoever you want to call them, kicked God out of our public schools.
Yeah, same thing. It's the same.
It was same movement.
Right. It was
get rid of God movement.
Yeah, it was the grandchildren of Margaret Madeline O'Hare.
Yeah.
And, those individuals their grandchildren somehow have gotten control of the Democratic Party to the point where it's now debatable whether God is welcome at the Democratic National Convention.
Right.
And if they deny that, refer them to the film of them voting God out.
Yeah.
Even though officially they went on and called it like God was in, everybody that heard that vote knows that more people voted against God. Than voted for him.
There are people today that are watching our program that are saying, well, I have to vote for the Democratic Party because my grandfather, my grandmother, or somebody. But really, I think this is a real eye-opener when they see that video we just showed and see. Now, the other thing is we want to make a DVD out of this program.
Okay.
And anybody that's watching today, if they'll call the office, 893-2444.
Area code 502.
Right.
You're going to make me a TV star?
Yeah. 893-2444. We're going to send you this whole video with Rick's comments and the clips off of the YouTube type stuff. And you can show that to your friends that are saying, oh, the Democrats are wonderful. We talk about it all you want to, but when you see that and hear the votes...
I never would have believed that happened.
I never would have believed
If somebody had told me that, I said, you're right. Because the Democratic Party is much more adept at being politic than that.
Yeah.
That my positions as a conservative Christian aren't respected in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
That's why I left the Democrat Party back in '92.
Right.
It's been that way a long time. It's unfriendly toward you. Okay.
Towards Christians.
Yeah, Christian issues and Christian positions on
Christian
issues.
positions.
They're very much unfriendly. Now they laugh and smile and joke with you, but they put you over in the corner when you come in the room.
Well, you know, there was a time where there were a lot of Christians in the Democratic Party. I remember.
They still are.
Yeah.
But most people don't realize that the party has moved away from them.
That's the whole point right there.
The party has moved away from them.
The party has left the Christians' position.
Yeah. As long as we've been struggling over the pro-life question,
Yeah.
every once in a while, and it's more often than you would think, you run into somebody who never thought about it, and they suddenly become convinced that this is wrong. They naturally assume as Democrats that and when they take this idea and take these ideas to the party, start going to meetings to see what we can do about this politically, they walk in there naively thinking that that they will be received, and then they get there and find out that's a done deal as far as they're concerned.
Right.
Pro-choice is the party position, and that's it.
That's it.
And all of a sudden, you realize I'm totally alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you look, then when you start thinking about EPA, environmental policy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Taxation is always built on covetousness and envy. That's what convinced me about that. You know, my social justice agenda before I became a Christian was unbiblical.
Yeah.
Was all of a sudden when I realized that it was all based upon me being covetous, jealous, and envious of people that had more.
Yeah.
That was the whole basis of the reasoning and the logic.
They're going to punish him.
Right. And you know, if a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat. And then we see governmental policy that you watch is designed. Man doesn't work, not only does he eat, he gets plenty to eat, but we'll give him a Section 8 apartment. Yeah. We'll take care of his kids for him.
Yeah.
We'll do everything. All he got to do is just vote Democrat.
I was watching YouTube, that's just the other day, and there was a clip on there from Iran, and they had about 10,000 people in a huge auditorium, and of course they were speaking their native language. You didn't know what they were saying,
right?
But they had subtitles on there, and it turns out what they were saying is death to America.
میدانیم این سخن تهدید نظامی، این که میگوید همه گزینه ها روی میز آمریکا، این مصرف داخلی داره. شوخی میکنن، خودشون هم جرأت نمیکنن. عجیب‌تر این است که جان کری میگوید که ما بر روی تاریخ سخت 30 ساله اخیر ایران و سوابق رفتارهای ایران چشم نبسته ایم. بله، چشم نبندید، چشمتون رو باز کنید، ببینید در این 35 سال چقدر شما جنایت کردید.
These are the people we're trying to negotiate with on whether or not they get an atomic bomb.
Yeah, well, you know, the people that are in charge of Iran, the mullahs, their spiritual leadership, and their political party. That's who you see pictures of. Yeah, saying those things. The majority of the Iranian people are very pro-Western, but the problem is they are enslaved by those individuals.
And of course, they don't say it in English.
Well, you know, they depend on the fact that they're in Iran, they're speaking in their native language, and because they don't say it in English, then they can translate it any way they choose.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
Yasser Arafat was famous for that. In
public appearances.
In public appearances where there was an international media, he was always speaking conciliatory about peace and about Israel. But when you went and turned on the radio, what was going on the radio in the Palestinian Authority controlled areas, he was speaking in Arabic. what he was saying was altogether something different.
Yeah.
And because we didn't speak that, then they would send they would translate it, and it wouldn't be saying what he said.
The thing that bothers me is that we got a leadership in this country that's
Asleep.
are sympathetic.
I'm beginning to think you're right, Doc. They're not asleep. This is what he wants.
If you cut God out, then you're going to have to deal with things, all these problems.
Right.
You're going to have to deal with, crime and drugs.
And people wanting to kill you.
When you say, well, we're going to get rid of God, you're asking for trouble.
Big trouble. What do they say? Big trouble. In the Music Man said, we got big trouble in River City.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, pool. They were shooting pool. He said, "This is a degradation to the community, the moral fabric of America. The pool halls.
Yeah.
We have trouble. We got trouble right here in River City."
We're going to make this whole thing in a video, a DVD, and we're going to send it to you for free.
Yeah.
It'll have in there the Democrats kicking God out or talking about it, and then. The other thing, we're going to have Rick comments about it, and then we're going to have this video. So this is free, and, people will never believe this if they don't see it for themselves.
Yeah.
So we're going to put it on a DVD and send it to you. It's absolutely free.
Yeah.
Call that number, 893-2444. 893-2444. And we'll get it out to you. It's free, and we'd like you to give one to all your friends and all your relatives and all your neighbors, and we got to save our country.
And be sure to tell them that the handsome guy Dr. Simon was talking to.
Yeah,
That's
Rick Howland.
Yeah, you're gonna make me a star, Doc.
You already are a star.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think we're about out of time, Rick. I really appreciate Rick Howland for being on the program with us.
Thank you, Doc.
And call right now. And if no one's there, you leave a message on the answer machine. 893-2444. Okay, Rick, I tell you, I think this is really important. People need to hear this for themselves. They'll never believe it.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you call that number, and we'll send you the free DVD immediately. That number is 893-2444.
Yep.
Thanks again, Rick, for being on the program and giving us your insight on all these really crucial issues.
Okay, I appreciate it, Doc. And when they contact me in Hollywood,
that's right,
I'll let you know, and I'll pay you a percentage.
Okay, that's a deal.
Thanks, God. God bless you.
God bless you. And tune again next week for the rest of the news.